Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to properly graph rational functions and locate all the important aspects of them. So I think we've already gone through this in previous videos, but just as a refresher, we want to find the vertical asymptotes, which occurs when the denominator of one of these functions is 0. Now remember, each of these functions are going to be a fraction, so we want to find all the pieces that make them unique. So here we can factor my denominator always, so x minus 3 times x plus 3. And so you can see that x minus 3's would cancel, and I'm left with x plus 3. And so we would say that my vertical asymptote occurs at x equals negative 3. Now, many of you may remember that when we cancel a factor like this, it no longer is a vertical asymptote, it's what we would call a hole in the graph. So there is a hole in the graph at 3, and when we go to graph the function, we'll graph a little open circle at that point. So that's how you find your vertical asymptotes. One important fact is that this will interrupt our domain. So my domain, instead of it being all real numbers, has to skip negative 3 for the vertical asymptote. Now I'm going to be even more specific here, but since we have a hole, we actually need to specify we're skipping the hole as well. Now in this next function, again, we can factor my denominator. And so we have vertical asymptotes here at 5 and negative 5, meaning that my domain would be negative infinity to 5, negative 5, sorry, then negative 5 to 5, and then finally 5 back to infinity. So that's it for defining your vertical asymptotes, just making your denominator equal to 0. So why don't you try factoring this last one and see if you can identify your vertical asymptotes and the corresponding domain. And I'll return back with my answer. So try to pause the video now and see if you can get it. Okay, so this right here is my factored version. Unfortunately, nothing canceled. But what that tells me is that I've got two vertical asymptotes, one at negative 2 and one at negative 3. And the way that we would write the domain, negative infinity to negative 3, then pick it back up from negative 3 to negative 2, and then negative 2 on to infinity. Now, horizontal asymptotes have three very specific rules. And by the end of this video, I'll go through each one of them. What I'm going to encourage you to do in your notes, you should have three little boxes underneath each of these graphs. I'm going to write the rule for each one, and that's what should go in each of these boxes down here. So the first one is the rule for when the degree of the denominator is larger than that of the numerator. Well, this has an instant horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. The good news is that this is instant because of how much larger the denominator will get because it has a higher exponent power. So you never have to worry about any of the aspects of this graph. It's just when we see that, it's at 0. Now, for my next one, the degree of the numerator is equal to the denominator. Whoops. We know that we're going to have what's called the ratio of coefficients here. So this is what I want you to write in that box. And so what that's going to mean is that if I just look at my highest exponent powers, 2 to 2, I look at their coefficients, this one, this specific graph, would have a horizontal asymptote at 1 over 1, which just becomes 1. Okay, it's not always going to be 1. This is just the values that are asymptotes. So if I had a 2 up top, it would be a 2. If I had a 2 at the bottom, it would be a 1/2. So it just depends. And finally, our last one here is when the degree of the numerator is larger than that of the denominator. That's when we have what's called a slant or oblique asymptote. This is going to require division. I don't want to do it here in this problem, but I will do it in another one. Okay, in these two graphs here, I have the generic function. So if it's an odd power graph, my function will be in opposite quadrants effectively, and even power graphs will be in either the top portion or the lower portion. And so we're just going to see this as we're doing these problems. So here's an example where we can graph this function. And there's four main things we're going to try to find every time. First, we want to find our vertical asymptotes. That would be when my denominator equals 0. We always want to start by factoring and canceling if that exists. So there is one that exists here. So again, we'll review what that would mean. So I get 3 over x minus 2, meaning my vertical asymptote is at 2. Now I want to find my horizontal asymptote. Well, based on the power of the exponents, we would have immediately y equals 0, since my denominator degree is larger than the numerator degree. All right, so we want to get some more supporting points. Now we're going to use a chart at some point, but we can also find x and y intercepts. X-intercepts are going to occur whenever my numerator is 0. But if I actually look at my reduced expression here, my numerator is a constant, so there are no x-intercepts here. And to get your y-intercept, that just means that we plug 0 in for x. So there's a lot of different rules here, and I just wanted to try to point all of them out. And it's going to take some time to get used to them. So my y-intercept is -3/2. So let's start by graphing my vertical asymptote at 2. Whoops. Let's graph my horizontal asymptote at 0. And let's graph my y-intercept at -1.5. So somewhere roughly down here. Maybe I'll just place it at -2. So, when we have these four pieces, we need them. And now we just want some more supporting points. Now, good news is, we have a new graph center. Instead of it being 0, 0, it's going to be wherever my vertical asymptote is. I already have a point on the left to support it because I already have my y-intercept here, so that's okay. I just want one more point on the right of this. So I'm going to choose 4, no real reason, just because I wanted some symmetry. I'm going to plug 4 into my reduced expression. I get +3/2. And so you can see that my 2 points are in opposite quadrants like this. So when I graph this function, it's going to look just like that. So, these 4 points actually give us a good indication of what the graph is going to do. It's just consistency with finding them. So let's try that another time. So here's my function. I first want to see, can I find my vertical asymptote? AKA, when does my denominator equal 0? What x value will make that happen? That's +7. I want to now look at my horizontal asymptotes. Up top is a linear term of x to the first plus 5. Down the bottom, even though it is factored, is actually a power of 2. So my horizontal asymptote is the degree of the denominator is larger. So my rule is 0. So now we have those two components in place. Can I find any x-intercepts? When does the numerator equal 0? So just looking at my numerator, that's going to happen at -5. Finally, for my y-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0. And if I plug in 0, I get 5 over -7 squared. So I get 5 over 49. Now this decimal is very small, so it's not going to be super helpful to graph, but we're going to do our best with that. So I want to graph my vertical and horizontal asymptotes at 7 and 0. And so now I want to plot the points that I know. So -5, and my y-intercept is close to 0. So here's a slight problem. Both of these points happen to be on or very close to the x-intercept. So they're not exactly beneficial to our graphing, so we still need some additional supporting points here. So we know that my new graph center is 7, so let's pick 6 and 8. This will be much better indicators of where my pieces should be. So if I plug 6 into the function, I get 11 up top over -1 squared, so it's just 1. And if I plug in 8, I get 13 up top. And so when I graph this, you are probably wondering, why are both of these positive? Well, if you remember, we talked about how a graph with x squared in the denominator have both sections, up top or down below. So this graph will look close to this, okay? So, you know, these four components are really important to finding that. Now, I really recommend you finding a spot to write all of these sort of rules down, because when I ask you to find these components, this is the way that you want to break them down. And it's a lot to remember, but with practice, it's helpful. And then our last one is our slant and our oblique asymptote. Now, this is the specific case when the degree of the numerator is larger than the denominator. We still have vertical asymptotes, but we have to use division. So we're going to use synthetic division here. We're going to actually do this division. So my root here would be 1. I'm going to use 1, 0, and 1. Remember, I need a little placeholder for the x term. So I have to just do my division process. And my answer is 1x plus 1 with a remainder of 2. Now what that's going to do for us is we're going to graph our vertical asymptote at 1 still. That's the same. But instead of graphing a horizontal line, we're actually going to graph the line x plus 1. And that's going to be our slanted asymptote here. Now we want to just see if we can get our remaining points. Are there any x-intercepts? Well, is x squared plus 1 ever equal to 0? And the answer is no. So that means I'm not going to cross the x-axis at all. If I get my y-intercept, that means I plug in 0. And so I do have a y value. And so I have a point to the left of my vertical asymptote. So I want to get another point to the right. So I have 0. So let's plug in 2. If I plug in 2, I get 5 up top over 1 down the bottom. And so I'm going to use my asymptotes as sort of my guiding lines. That was a very bad line there. Let me retry that one. To actually sketch the shape of my graph here. So that's all the components that we need for graphing these functions. The slant asymptote is definitely the trickiest one. It's just a matter about finding those 4 components and then finding additional supporting points if they're still needed, which obviously, as you could see, was needed for a few of these graphs. So why don't you try some additional problems to see if you get a hang of it, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.